welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm G10-12&GCE. Thank you so much for viewing and for liking the video. Please like, share to those you feel this video can be applicable. Subscribe, that is the most important and the cardinal thing. Subscribe. Place the notification button at the corner there so that new videos are posted, you are notified. So today we are looking at inequalities. I always pray before I start my lessons, so shall we pray? Dear Lord, help my learners to understand what we're going to do today. Help us to be corrected where we can go wrong. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Yeah, learn to pray so that God can guide you in whatever you are doing. It is really important. Mostly applicable for those who are sitting for their exams, and the exams are near grade 12 GCE. This video is highly recommended. But still, the grade 10 and 11 you can still learn. The syllabus is the same. Yeah. So as usual, let's put things in order before we look at exam questions. Before we look at exam questions, what are the things are we supposed to know? What are the points are we supposed to take note for us to understand the exam questions and how they are going to be solved? So we need to know that inequalities, paper 1. By the way, this is inequality paper 1. In paper 2, mostly it falls under linear programming. That is, look for a video that I have done on linear programming. You'll be able to view it or to see it. Okay, so this is paper 1. In paper 1, we need to know the inequality symbols. Okay, inequality means things are not equal. Expressions, variables are not the same. So we need to take note that there is this symbol which means greater than. Okay? And there is also this which means less than. So this is greater than. This one is less than. Now, these two symbols, I'll be calling them single symbols because there's only one like that. They both represent what we call broken lines. That is the most cardinal point. Broken lines. In a diagram, where you see a line is dotted like that, and it is shaded, it either will be able to bring in this or that. We shall get to that. Or the line is broken in an X plane, shaded this side or that side, you'll be able to bring these two lines. If you see a double sign, this is greater than or equal to, this is less than or equal to, then these two, they will represent what we call solid line. We are collecting data, things to know before exam questions. When you see this line, either shaded up or shaded down, think of this or think of that. If you see a line shaded this side, it is solid, not broken. Or shaded this side, start thinking of this and that. Secondly, when do we also take note? Broken lines will bring in these two. I'll get back to this. Solid line will get back to these two. Now, how do we know the regions, or when do we bring in these signs? Well, there are various ways in which we can draw. Imagine I have this line, it is shaded this side. How do I know that, okay, I have to bring in this? And by the way, it is solid, so there are just two options. It's either that or that. Okay? So there are so many methods that the syllabus has described, and one of them is that you need to use the what we call the wanted region. Okay? So can you find out which side is wanted? Okay? and which side is unwanted. So the shaded region is the unwanted. So this side is unwanted region. Then where it is plain, this side, it is wanted region. So you have to check, is your wanted region less? Is your wanted region on less numbers, or is your wanted region on greater numbers? Okay? As you can see, we can just try to imagine the number line here. This side, it is the greater part. It is not wanted. Okay? So what is wanted is the lesser part. Yes. No. The lesser part is this side. So this is the lesser part. So meaning this is our inequality that we are looking for. If I have this side, by the way, this is in a X region. In a Y region, in the X region, if I had this situation, X, the lines are the same. If I had a broken line, shaded, find out. This I will use the symbol sign. Remember from what we are saying, I have two these. Always we go where it is plain. That is the wanted region. This side is unwanted. So as you can see, I will use this sign. That is the wanted region. Because we follow where it is plain. This side is not needed. So if in my Y situation, in my Y, you know Y are lines X, Y, 0, negative numbers, positive numbers. So if we are on top, we are shaded this way. From where the 0 is, these are less numbers, greater numbers. Okay? So this is greater. I have the greater part, I have the lesser part. So find out where is the unshaded region. That is your wanted region. You are in the lesser part. So this is the sign that is needed. If I have a broken line, very easy. Down, shaded down. This side it is less. So this is my less. And then, by the way, this is I don't know why I'm switching the signs. Sorry, this is the greater, this is the lesser. So what we need here is the lesser region. The lesser region is needed. And if we check here, again, this side now, we have the greater. This is the lesser. So, the greater, because above, we have big numbers this side, less numbers. So we need the greater sign. So that is one of them which has been described, and you can also use what your teachers have mentioned. You've got the gradient method, when the gradient is positive, when the gradient is negative, and so on and so forth. You can use all those. You can also use what other teachers use. You compare the comparing method. If the number that you are looking for is equal or not equal to the number that is in the wanted region. Alright. You can also use the Muvanga's method. Okay? I have developed a method here. In mathematics, it's about discovery. I have developed a very good method on this one called Muvanga's method. It says if the needed line is upright, if it is upright in the X region or axis, so follow where the shadings, follow where the shadings are facing That is where the sign will face. Simple. So if I have this, then my shadings are this side. Let's say this is 2. Then my X, the shadings are facing this side. If my line is already upright in the X region, my shadings are facing this side. That is where my sign will face. So that will be my inequality. That's the method that I have discovered. It has worked on every example. Okay? So kindly use that one. That's how professors come up. That's how professors are discovered in the world. They discover things and so on and so forth. So same with me, I've discovered that. So if it was facing this side, that is -4. I'll simply say X is greater than. This is greater than -4. Simply, where the shadings are facing is where the sun will face, in the X region. Simple as that. Let's talk about in the Y region. Someone can question, but what about in the Y region? Don't worry, my friend, I have it under control. That's why I'm working towards being a Professor Mbanga, discovering things. Okay, in the Y region, rotate. You know why it's like design? Yes. In the Y region, rotate the needed line clockwise. It's always clockwise. That's according to my method. So you can't say and clockwise it can't work out. So it is always what? Clockwise. Always, not even an end point and clockwise. Always clockwise. Always clockwise. And make the line upright as it is always in the X region. So it's more like you this is, let's say I have a 6 here in the Y region, then my shadings are facing this side. So it's more like you are turning the Y region into the X region, but by rotating it what? Clockwise. I discovered this. Okay. So this line, let's rotate it clockwise. If I rotate it, it becomes like this. Even the shading will face this side. So my inequality will be Y is less or equal to what? 6. Done. If it was down, let's say at -1 here, broken, facing down, I will rotate. Down, I will rotate it clockwise. It will become like this. Then if Y is greater than -1. Done. Okay guys, what are the other things that we need to take note is that we need to take note of this formula. You need to take note of this formula. The gradient. Someone should know, or everyone should know the gradient formula. M doesn't stand for my name, Mbanga. It is a gradient. People discovered it. X2 minus x1. You should know that formula. We'll get back to it. You should also know what we call equation of a straight line. Equation of a straight line. Y is equals to mx plus c. C stands for the y-intercept, a number where the line cuts the y-axis. That's c-intercept. This stands for the gradient. X represents any x coordinate, any y coordinate. You should also know this formula. It is y minus y1 over y2 minus y1. it is equals to x minus x1 over x minus x2 minus x1. If you don't want to use this, you can use that. Both this and this, they are in there. Okay, now that we've collected everything that we need for the exam questions, let's get to the exam questions now. Okay. Well, look for the past papers in paper 1 so that you can understand what we are doing. Okay. So most of them are not clear. The ones I have, they are not really clear here. Our friend the Dafros, they were very faint. Okay. I'll just try my level best to see. Let's try to look at 2017. 2017, this looks like what? Is it July? 2017. Yes, 2017 July. Let's try to do this question. 2017 July. You pardon me if I don't write the exact numbers because they are really hard to see the numbers. But the diagrams looks like this. This is our x, this is our y, this is our 0. Okay, I can see a number being cut, though it is in dotted form, being cut at -2. The shadings are this side, at 2, sorry. Then I have the other one, which is looks like a broken line at -1. It is really broken. Really broken. And then I have another one. It looks like a solid line. It's cut at 3. Then it's that side. And we have one which cuts at -2. And the other one cuts at 2 here. So it's a line that goes like that. And the shadings, they go this side. So this is the unshaded region R. It is called the unshaded region R. Okay, the question says, write down the inequalities that define the unshaded region R on the X or Y plane. There are many inequalities, 1, 2, 3, 4. We should write the 4 inequalities. I will use this down part. Okay, so for me what I do, I name them. I name these inequalities. I name these inequalities by numbers, L1. For instance, I'll start with the ones that are cutting on one number. So always look for a line that is cutting only at one number. I can see this one. I'll name it as L1, line 1 for easy identification. This guy is only cutting at Y3, so I'll name it line 2. There's also this guy cutting at -1 on Y, L3. Then this one is cutting on 2 numbers. This guy, I'm calling them guys, they're numbers. This number, this variable 2, and this variable 2. So I'll call it at line 4. So that I can begin now my solutions to be my line 1. So I would say the inequalities now, inequalities, hope you are seeing there. Okay, you can see line 1, comma, L1. Find out it's cutting at X. X, only one number, X. So I'll write X. I'll put a 2. Then here I need to put the inequality sign. Okay? So if I check the inequality, for me I use Mbanga's method, okay? Professor Mbanga's method. My method says, in the X region, you have to study it carefully so that you know. In the x regions, x are numbers that are standing already like this. If the shadings are facing to the right hand side, your inequality sign will face to the right hand side. Remember, if the line is broken, you use either this guy or the other sign, the less or the greater. So in this case, it is facing this side. It's only this sign that faces to the right hand side. So this is where the inequality sign will go. I'm done. Very correct. Okay? Line 2. Where is line 2? Line 2 is this one. The L2. So I can grab this one, this side, you see, and this sharp. Line 2, check there. It is the L2, comma, find out. It's cutting only at one number, which is y. So it is y. It is cutting at 3. So I'll put 3 here. We are in the y region. Mubamba's method says if you are in the y region, you must rotate your line clockwise. Okay? This is in y region. Clockwise, if you start taking this side, where are the shadings going? They are going this side. So that is where the sign will face. Remember, this is solid, so it will have double sign. Less or equal to done. Correct. L3. L3 is which one? This is L3. Okay? L3 is cutting again, broken at -1. Y or x, it's cutting the line y. So therefore it will have y -1. Where are we in the x or y region? We're in the y region, where we rotate clockwise. They will go this side with a broken like that. You can't fail when teacher Mbanga is around unless you just decide to. Now, what do we do? By the way, before I even proceed, anyway, let me proceed. Now, let's go to L3. You have to be careful with L4, sorry. L4 is cutting at this number and that number. Okay? So I'll give you two methods, two options to follow. Either way, it is going to be correct. Alright. So, the L4, the method number 1, you use this equation. When it is cutting two numbers here or there, or when it is not cutting clearly on both sides, maybe up there, it is so. Okay, so you still use the y is equals to mx plus c. Or the other one that I wrote when I was just introducing this video, step 1, find gradient. Okay? Find the gradient, so meaning m is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Where would the champion say? Oh. This means there are 4 numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to correct 4 numbers. Okay? Or you have to correct coordinates. Start anywhere here and there. So mostly let's start with x. You can start with anybody, conveniently x. This is -2. So you write -2, comma 0. It has not moved. So you say 0. Okay? So -2, comma 0. The line, if the number has not, if the point has not, if the point is lying on x dash, it is that number, comma 0. This is y. Y is always found on the next here. So x, y, x, y. This is y2. So you can't start here. You have to write at the back here. Then this side it is 0, meaning 0, comma 2. So this will be 0. So x, y, 1, 1, 2, 2, x1, y1, x2, 2, 2, y2. So fuse it here. If you fuse y2, it is 2. We'll write 2 there, minus 0. Our x2 is 0, minus this to be -2. Then on top, I'll get 2, negative, positive. If we divide, we just get our m is equals to 1. Done. Okay? So what do we do next? How do we know that you are correct? If your line is increasing, your gradient should be positive. If your line is decreasing, your gradient should be negative. Your next one here, y is equal to mx plus 2. Here we have got 1. Your C, if you can clearly see that it is cutting on y and the number is 2, the number is 3, whichever number, but you can clearly see that this is the number that the line is cutting. That is your C. No need to find. Because C means y intersect. Unless you just choose to do so. So my C is clearly what? 2. If it was cutting at negative 1, it would have been negative 1. But this line is cutting at 2. But if you want to find, simply replace one of the coordinates, negative 2, 0. Replace x, y in this equation. Y is equals to mx plus c. On y you put 0. On x you put negative 2 and solve. You still get 2. But for me I don't solve since it is clearly cutting at negative 2. Now I can get back to say my y is equals to m is 1x. There is no 1x back, so you just wrap it off like that. C is 2, meaning plus 2 there. Now this is an equation where under inequality you put the sign. So this is the same as in the y region rules from Wanga's method. You rotate the sign, okay? You rotate the line, clockwise, bringing it in the x region. It will be, the shading will be going this side. It is double because of solid. So we will remove this and say y is less or equal to x plus 2. This is done. Okay, this is done. Quickly, under 3 minutes, let me do take note of this answer. So please solve other questions on inequalities and send them to me, or send them to this line. So can you solve 2018, 2019, 2020, 2022? Can you solve 2025, 2040, whichever year that you are in or the previous year that was there? Can you solve them? Let me leave you with the other methods. Method 2. Method 2, apart from y is equals to mx plus c. Okay? You can use y. Remember your coordinates were negative 2, 0 and 0, 2. Okay? x, y. Remember our answer was y is equals to x plus 2 with less or equal to. When you see if we are going to arrive same, x1, y1, x2, y2. We said method 2 is y minus y1 over y2 minus y1 is equals to x minus x1, x2 minus x1. You just pick one between these two, not necessarily to apply all of them. Because you must pick from here. Okay, y1 is 0 over y2 is 2 minus y1 is 0. They have to be the same. For me, I will then replace this with an equal sign. Or maybe I'll put it at the last, no need to worry. And then x1 is negative 2, x2 is 0, negative 2 like that. So y minus 0 it is y. 2 minus 0 is 2 equals x plus 2, which will just be 2. We'll cross multiply. Okay, we have to simplify. This time this is to give us 2y is equals to, this time this to give us 2x, this time this is to give us 4. We divide by 2 throughout, 2 throughout, 2 throughout. This and this. We'll get y is equals to 2 into 2, it is 1, we just write x. 2 into this, it is just plus 2. Then the inequality, since it was like this, so we'll take it this side, so it was solid, so it will be like this, x plus 2. we are arriving at the same answer. So choose whichever you want between this one or this formula to find lines that cuts both x and y axis. Okay, so this is the Teacher Mwanga for you. Like my video, subscribe. Till next time. Shalom, shalom. God bless you.